Hello everyone, how you guys doing today? In today's video, we're going to talk about investing in Africa. And if you're an international person and been trying to get into African market, maybe you have tried a couple of times, but you haven't had the right way to go into African market. And in this channel, I'm gonna tell you things you have to do, steps you have to take to go into African markets, untapped African market, depending on the sectors you are looking into. And in this video, I'm going to tell you five aspects in African business market that you need to tap into, depending on the country in Africa that you are looking to go into, and then you'll get a return on your investment. And I'm not talking about small returns. It's gonna be very massive. You should plan it well. All right. First of all, let's discuss Africa. Africa have about 54 countries, and in that 54 countries, all countries operate differently, but they are all open markets except for Eritrea, Djibouti, and then Eritrea or something. So, for example, in sub-Saharan Africa alone, we have 26 stock exchanges. All in sub-Saharan Africa alone, we have Nigeria Stock Exchange, we have Johannesburg Stock Exchange, and so on. But today, I'm going to talk about somebody that is stepping into Africa. Okay, you have a couple of millions of dollars. You said, okay, I want to go into African market. I want to invest the right way, and then this money will, in the next 5 to 10 years, I want this money to triple or something. All right, here is what I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna list 5 things, and that 5 things is the things that I know that will guarantee you success. I am an African and I understand open market. I've been doing business off and on all my life, going to China and every country. Now I'm in America, still go to Nigeria and rest of African country. I know Africa very well. So if you have watched up to this point, subscribe to my channel. All right, let's proceed. One, Africa is an untapped market. There is a lot of things that need to be done in Africa, and nobody's willing to do it. And some people are doing it, but they're not going all the way. And one of them is agriculture. You can imagine a continent with edible land. Like, for example, I use Nigeria as an example. 95% of Nigerian soil is agriculture friendly. 95, I'm literally saying 95% is agriculture friendly. If you add in modernization of how you use soil for cultivation, the modern way, I'll probably say 100%, but agriculture have not been fully paid attention to the way industrialized agriculture is done in America and Europe. It's only few foreigners. As I'm talking to you right now, the only industrial agriculture that is going on in Nigeria is owned by foreigners. Majority of them, most foreigners are from Middle East and Asia. So if you have the resources, agriculture is where you're going to. Nigeria imports almost everything. They import pineapple, they import, for whatever reason, they don't pay agriculture serious attention. So if you have money and have knowledge about agriculture with the right political connection or access to, you will get a place and set up industrial farming as much as you want and see see your return on your investments, agriculture. And then number 2 is fintech. Right now, Nigeria is one of those fastest countries that is going cashless when it comes to payments. Like paying your bills, buying stuff. Like, for example, in China now, people don't usually use cash that much. People use their eye, they scan their eye to a machine, and then they pay for stuff. Or sometimes they'll just use their palm of their hand or thumbnail and pay for stuff. So if you have a company or a fintech company around Africa that is gearing towards that as financial direction where China is going, because when it comes to technology, Nigeria follows China, the rest of Africa follows China. So if you are an investor or somebody that understands fintech very well, those cashless startup companies all over Africa, invest in them and you nurture them, and when they grow, you will get a return on your investment. Yes, fintech is big. Africa is actually ahead of the United States when it comes to cashless. Like for example, Rwanda right now, Rwanda is far ahead. So fintech companies are where it is now. If you are an investor, have a little bit knowledge about fintech, technology that are around, paying for goods without money, that's where you will go into. There's a couple of them in Nigeria already, and there's a couple that are coming up all around Africa, South Africa, Ghana, that you need to pay attention to. All right, having said that, another one is the big elephant in the room is real estate. Uh, Real estate is another where Africa is going behind. Right now, every real estate around Africa is geared towards luxury, luxury real estate. So, if you're an investor that understands real estate, that understands it very well, if you can come in and build middle class, have a partnership with the bank, build a middle class or lower middle class housing projects or housing units, depending on which country you want to, have a MOU with a bank that will, back up your investment, build it and rent those things out to people, and you will see your investment return on your investment. Real estate. Don't go into high end. Real estate market is highly needed in Africa. Don't go into high end. You can go into high end if you want to, but balance it. While you're building you're investing in high end people that want to live in a luxury lifestyle. You can still also build middle class. And also, another one thing I want to say about real estate is, when I mean real estate, I genuinely mean it's like a gold mine. For example, I'm going to use Nigeria as example again. Nigeria have infrastructure deficit. For example, as I'm talking to you right now, Lagos is finally building their own entertainment arena for the first time ever. I'm talking about concert arena. They don't have such a thing. So if you're an investor and you heard that, so wow, I can build an arena like a basketball arena and rent it out for every kind of event. You can do that. Yes, entertainment arena, all multi-purpose event centers, halls, that stuff. That's another line of real estate that is badly needed in Africa. So for investor, and then you can look into that. Then stock exchange. If you know how to, African stocks are cheap, but if you know you know what you're doing, you can actually, as I said earlier in the video, we have multiple stock exchange between all 26 countries of sub-Saharan Africa. Look into one of them, invest your money, understand their stock exchange, the policies, how they trade and all that stuff. That's another thing you have to look into. Then another one that this one is the last one. Another one you have to look into is call centers, customer service. If you have, like, it used to be in India, and some of them are coming to Nigeria. Some of them, some of them don't even know Nigeria speak English. Nigeria speak very close to British English. So all these call centers you have in India, some of them are bringing it to Lagos, into Africa, African speaking countries. So if you are a business owner that have call centers in all those countries like India or whatever, and you feel like you want to bring it to where you will run it much cheaper, not less expensive. Nigeria is a place. Nigeria speak English. All you have to do is bring your tools down here, get the right documentation, register your company, open a call center. That will even be cheaper than India and other countries. This is a very, very, very serious one. If you have a business that is around customer service, call centers where people, do customer service for companies in America, UK, you can bring them to Nigeria, set up shop in Nigeria, hire employees, pay them for what they earn, what they deserve, which will be even cheaper than India, but decent for them for Nigeria, and then set up shop, get the appropriate registration, and then you're good to go. So these are the things where things is going to. You can invest your money, and it's not too risky, and the return on investment will be massive. Africa is a virgin market when it comes to investment. You just have to understand Africa from open-minded perspective. So if you can do that, then you are set. I want to add one more thing, but that one is is a little tricky. Like if you are into open up a factory, yes, but that one is for another time. But this one I just mentioned to you is businesses that you can actually set up in African countries, whether it's Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, um, other African countries. You know, you will get your return on your investment. In my next video, I'm gonna talk about different countries in Africa where you can actually, it will be easy for you to do all these things. So, but now I'm telling you the kind of business you do in Africa that is less risky, and then the reward is big. So if you watch up to this point, thank you. Subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions you want to ask, you ask me, and then see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.